The interior design of a space can significantly affect your feelings and well-being. Ancora Interiors can help create an environment which reflects the message of your business, or design a living space which is a reflection of you, your lifestyle and taste. Providing both e-design and fully fledged interior design services to suit every budget. Ancora ensure that the look you want becomes a reality using a range of digital visualization tools to perfect the look of your space before a paintbrush is lifted. Check out AncoraInterior.com for more information or contact us at hello@EncoriaInteriors.com for a free consultation. You're listening to Go Fish, exclusively on the Pod Station.
Welcome everyone to the latest episode 60, sort of 59 but kind of 60 because I'm going to count that last little 10-minute promo as an episode of the Go Fish Business Tips podcast. My name's Mark Pollard and my business is Funky Vibes Marketing. Joining me and my two fellow co-hosts, the wonderful Chris Roxburgh from My Marketing Guy. Hi Chris.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm splendid. I'm getting through this intro a lot more efficiently now. We're restricted to 30 minutes.
And I'm saying hello there a lot better as well.
There's no messing around anymore. Ish has got us on a tight time scale.
Yep.
Which brings me nicely onto Ishtar Ali from Ancora Interiors, who is our third wheel.
Behave.
Third person of the trio. That was a nicer way of putting it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
How are you doing, Ish?
Good, thank you.
Quickly, all the housekeeping. Go Fish, you can check us out on social media where we publish business tips. We do the business spotlight, which will help showcase our followers. So if you want to get in touch and feature on that, just to give your business a bit of extra exposure, then either direct messages on your platform of choice. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn at Go Fish Podcast, or you can email us at gofish@thepodstation.co.uk. There is also a contact form on our website, which is gofishpodcast.com. Go and check out any of the above. And yeah, hopefully, if you want your business spotlighted, you can do it through that. Also, we have various tips and probably pictures of us, which I'm a bit reticent about, but
I enjoy doing it, though.
So there we go. We have no choice in that, Chris.
Didn't realise there were pictures up. I'll have to check.
Usually ones of while you were sleeping.
Was I consulted?
No.
No.
There was
Well,
no
Just the best
consent.
That's fair enough then.
What else? You can check us out on all of the major podcast platforms. We're on all the major ones. So Apple, Google, Spotify. We're now on Amazon Music. So yeah, I think we've pretty much got our bases covered there. So
Yep.
You can subscribe. You can automatically download them onto the device of choice. There are also quick links. If you go to the website, you'll actually see all of the platform images. If you just click on them, it'll take you through to our page, and then it's dead easy from there on in. Right, so I've very quickly and rather efficiently, if I might add, gotten through the boring stuff.
Bravo.
We're going to be covering a topic which we hope will lead on to other topics as we go along, so there'll hopefully be a little bit of a thread running throughout all of these shows that might make listening to it a bit more of a theme. Serialized, is that the word I'm looking for?
Can be, yeah.
Rather than just individual shows. As we said in our previous episode, we're going to keep them down to 30 minutes to make them a bit snappier and a little bit more commuter friendly.
And it helps us stay up to date with what's current as well. So, the topic that we're going to discuss today is super applicable to what's going on in the market at the minute.
And what is that?
It's about inflation and cost of living and how the hell is this impacting small businesses. Juicy one, this.
Serious stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think probably no topic about inflation would be complete as it stands at the moment without a sort of glance back at what we've come through, because the pandemic, 2 years of it pretty much, cost a lot of companies dear. A lot of them went to the wall. A lot of them are struggling to get back on their feet still. And now we've been hit by not only a war in Ukraine, Brexit, after effects of COVID, and all that, and the knock-on effects of all that, with the cost of living increases to energy, food, the lot. In fact, the last research I saw was cost of living has gone up by about 10%. Is that? Does anybody else see that one?
I would have thought it was more than that.
Well, it is on certain items, but
Yeah.
over a general
which is
basket.
significant. Yeah.
It's huge, and we had a lot of companies feeling that they weren't properly supported throughout Brexit. Although the furlough thing was absolutely amazing, I've got to say, there's a balance to be struck here between praise and criticism of the way all that was handled. But nevertheless, there were sole traders in particular who felt as though they were left in the lurch, and they are struggling to get back on their feet, and that's the background of what we're looking at today, really.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to get political on this show. I guess the support they provided during the pandemic was quite generic in that it was aimed at just helping everyone. And so perhaps some people who needed more help didn't get it, and some people who didn't need any help at all got what they didn't actually need in the first place. So I guess swings and roundabouts. I mean, the long and short of it is what it is, and you've just got to get on with it. And there's no point complaining about things that have happened that you can't now change. No. You've got to see what you can get, and hopefully what we touch upon in this episode might help sort of reflect on some of the things people can do to help get momentum going if needs be, or if you're already flying, is it a case of you don't need any support?
But there will be those companies, won't there? But it's very much a mixture. Small businesses get hit badly when inflation goes up. I mean, look at ourselves. We're sole traders. We've got rising costs all around us. Well, in my case, I'm cancelling subscriptions. That has a knock-on effect to those companies, because I won't be the only one. Not just my subscription they're going to be worried about. I'm cutting back on a variety of different things from a business perspective. Do I need to order paper, or can I use recycled paper that's been printed on once, but I'm not going to look at again? So turn it over, use it again. Those sorts of economies will be happening on a massive scale all over. And small businesses is sadly affected.
How's it impacting your business, Ish?
Well, people now have a choice, don't they? They're deciding what they want to. They're deciding what they want to spend their money on, because do you pay for fuel? Do you pay for a new interior? Do you pay for food? Do you pay for a new interior? It's really those key kind of decisions that the consumer is making is changed significantly over the past 6 months as a result of everything that obviously Chris has just mentioned. So I do feel like commercial businesses are probably still up for working on projects, and that's where work is coming from. I think residential customers are probably slowing down a wee bit because, one, the price of products has gone up, the price of services, so my trades have all increased their prices as a result of inflation and cost of living, and so everything has exponentially just gone up in price. So why would you, if you can't afford to do the shopping or feed the kids or put petrol in the car at the minute, why would you pay for major work? So it definitely has impacted my work area. But at the same time, I know other trades that have just still busy with work. So I think it swings and roundabouts for everybody, as Chris mentioned.
What about you, Chris?
Well, from a personal point of view, as you well know, Mark, marketing is one of the first casualties, and because it's seen as a luxury, which is frankly ridiculous, but a marketing department is seen as a luxury. So people are losing their jobs. In theory, that should be good for people like me, because we should be able to pick up the slack on a virtual basis, on an outsourced basis, become the outsourced marketing director, marketing manager, call them what you will, to replace those members of staff. the reality is, in the past, when there've been recessions, this hasn't happened to a massive degree. People have just stopped marketing and advertising, and that is, I'm sorry, very short-sighted.
It's counterproductive, isn't it?
The time to maintain your presence is when other people aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, definitely. The advice would always be, if you're struggling, get rid of staff before you start culling your marketing budget, because your marketing budget's going to bring in more work, A, to solve the problem you're facing, and B, to create more work so you can rehire the people who you've gotten rid of.
Yeah.
It's not a case of being callous to fulfill your own self-interest. If you're struggling for work, the last thing you should be doing is culling the service which is intended to generate
Leads.
the very work that you're desperate for. Whereas I think some people just panic and think, all right, that's X amount going out the window. By all means, reassess it and make sure it's doing the right thing for you and it's been as effective. You might need to reorganise your priorities so that the stuff you're going after is better suited to the budget you've got. But please don't get rid of it.
But also, the businesses need to really clearly define their objectives to the people that are helping them with the marketing, so that your marketing team really fully understand what you're trying to do, who your target audience is, and therefore can help you achieve that goal, as opposed to, just doing graphics or just doing this or just doing that. There's a lot more that you can get from your marketing teams that you're possibly not tapping into. So exactly like you said, Chris, you see it as an outsourced function for the time being, and then if it continues to work well, obviously you hire people back and it can be a consultancy, but it is so wrong just to get rid of it.
It's also a time to sharpen up the marketing and advertising effort as well. Cull what doesn't work. That's a statement of the obvious. You should do that at any time, but many people don't. They don't know where their leads are coming from. Make sure you know where your leads are coming from, and do more of the same, and chop the rest that's being ineffective and just a cost to the business.
So we sort of touching there on marketing and reevaluating your strategy, I guess, which is something we always talk about who your ideal clients are, and being perhaps better organised and more focused on what you're going after. The other side of that, of course, is business. You mentioned about how at home you're looking to reduce your outgoings. What kind of things can you do from perhaps a business perspective to assess that? I suppose one thing is, if you've got a mortgage on your commercial property, maybe speak to your mortgage broker about whether or not there's changes that can be done, whether it be to extend the period or factoring debts that you've accumulated during the pandemic that can be absorbed into your mortgage. So there might be things you can do. You might be stuck into a variable rate, whereas maybe a fixed rate would be better, given that interest rates are steadily being increased as we go along. What about utilities? You can get them reviewed. There's quite a lot of companies that will come in and do a full review of your utilities, because again, they can sometimes be offered a fixed term contract based on set prices. I suppose then you're rolling the dice as to whether the current prices will be maintained or may drop at some point, but obviously that's a business decision you're making here and now, not necessarily.
Review your insurances as well. I know I've got insurances that are coming up for renewal. Shop around, don't just go with the same supplier. It's anything where you can review your costs basically and your overheads, and just think about how that might kind of save you a bit of money, but also look at where it makes prudent sense to spend money in such times. Like you've both said, it's not all about cutting costs, it's about being smart with where you choose to focus your funds and where you choose to focus your energies. So if it is a reassessment of your customer base, for example, and targeting a different set of customers because your previous set of customers are now changed as a result of these cost of living issues, then maybe it's a good opportunity to refocus and retarget.
And look after those existing customers.
Absolutely.
I mean, they
My
are,
God.
in times like this, they're gold dust.
Yeah.
Absolute gold dust. You may have to tweak your prices, and they're not going to like that, but if it's a decent customer and you know them well, a sit down and an explanation face to face as to why you've got to increase your prices and so on and so forth, and try and find out what situation they're in. Try and give them a bit of advice as well, because we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah, and if we can pass work over to our clients as well from people that they might need, I mean, it's a two-way thing. If you're dealing with, other small businesses, help them out and then they'll help you out.
With 22 million UK users, LinkedIn offers a fabulous opportunity to find your ideal clients and to stay ahead of your competition. But what do these future clients currently find when they visit your profile? First impressions count. So, are you proud of your fantastic profile because it is client ready and written with them in mind? Or do you look at it and wonder how you could do better because you are not generating leads? My Marketing Guy works with those who want to take advantage of the amazing potential offered by LinkedIn. So, for more details, please email guy@mymarketingguy.co.uk to arrange an initial consultation. Remember, your next client is on LinkedIn. The brain processes nearly 10,000 visual and oral cues per minute. As first impressions stick, make the customer see your business in the right way. Funky Vibes can ensure your vibes attract the right tribe with their marketing expertise, graphic design, bespoke websites, and social media packages. For more information or a no-commitment initial consultation, simply email your tribe at funkyvibe.co.uk.
There's a lot of businesses, I'm saying this on the basis that I have now put my prices up. The fear of, oh my goodness, will they still use you if you put your prices up? The reality is everyone else is putting their prices up. Why shouldn't I? Are my services any less?
Well, it's not a question of that, is it, Mark? Your costs are going up.
I mean, I know people whose timber, wood's gone, the cost of timber has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
And I've got clients who work in that sector who've obviously had to pass that on to their customers. Yeah. People in print, the cost of paper's gone through the roof.
Yeah.
There's people in the radio business, telecoms, where getting equipment, for example, from Ukraine, a customer of ours who gets radios and the like from
Russia.
It was,
and
wasn't
then had
it?
to go to China.
Yeah.
Because of the embargoes or whatever, yeah.
So it's quite complicated, and all those prices are being passed on. And I know putting your prices up at a time when everything's going up is probably slightly concerning. But at the end of the day,
you have to survive.
It's not just survive. You've got to value what you do. I haven't put my prices up because I need it to survive. I put my prices up because I've never actually put my prices up based on an hourly rate. And I should have done, because the world's prices have gone up. You were telling me, Ish, that some of your tradespeople have put their hourly rate up quite substantially.
Yeah, and customers are still paying for our services because they still value the work that we do. At the end of the day, if you do a good job, your customer will still pay because they value the job that you do. And this is where we need to focus not on pricing, but value of service that we provide to customers or the value of your product. If that is something that they can't find anywhere else, they will continue to work with you, and that's what we should be doing.
You're right. It's all down to quality of work, whether you're whether you're a plumber, a plasterer, or a marketeer.
Yeah.
The quality of work has to be up to the standard the client requires.
And we've spoken about pricing a lot. I mean, you're never going to compete to be the cheapest in the market, so don't try.
No.
Value your services, price at the point that you are, and if the customers that you previously had can't afford you anymore, find the customers that will afford your services, because there are customers out there that will pay your price.
Having just told them that their existing customers are like gold dust. I suppose at the end of the day, a non-paying customer isn't a gold dust,
Not
is it?
at all.
It's a headache.
And those are the people that you'll start to find now, more customers of small businesses not being able to pay their bills. So what do you do with them? Keep lagging them on or get rid?
Now who's being callous, Chris?
Ooh, I'm keeping out of this one.
Does all of this turmoil prevent you from being able to properly forecast and plan? Or is that just an excuse for not doing it? Because actually, if you forecast and plan, you have the ability to adjust.
I think you've got to do far more short-term forecasting and planning now. Whereas it might have been on an annual basis. I'm doing mine on a quarterly basis at the moment.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And as soon as I can see a bit further, I'll make it 6 months and then 12 months again. But there's no point in planning too far into the future because look what's happened in the last 6 months.
Exactly.
So.
All because we haven't recorded a session. The world's gone into.
Do you think we'll get the blame for all this?
I'm reckoning so.
Well, if you're listening to this, Putin.
No, but you're right. I think a quarterly approach is the right approach, even for us at the minute, because we just don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, what the price is going to look like, what consumer feedback's going to look like. So a short-term view is the right view.
I read a Goldman Sachs stat yesterday.
That's very highbrow for you.
It is a bit. That said 80% of small business owners say that their business's financial health has suffered over the last 6 months.
Wow.
80%'s massive.
That is.
And those are the people that we're really talking to and hopefully saying, look, it's not all is not lost. And for those that may have lost a lot, they'll be coming back and going again. I've heard of a few examples like that. It's just a question of sitting tight and doing whatever it is you possibly can.
Isn't it about being a bit creative as well and thinking outside the box in times like this? Yeah. What do you reckon, Mark, from your creative marketing hat?
Well, yeah. If you refocus your plan properly, then you can still use the existing more commonplace stuff better. But if you can think out of the box, it's a brilliant opportunity to grab people's attention with perhaps less of a budget, because people notice things that are different and it doesn't have to cost you a small fortune. And so if two businesses are trying to attract the exact same people, and one of them's doing it, say, through Google Ads, which are costing a fortune, and someone else is doing it through a slightly more creative marketing campaign, like a personalised strategy, are you more likely to get it? Well, you'll definitely get more. You're probably more likely get noticed.
Yeah.
And it'll cost you a fraction of the price of the competitor, just by perhaps putting a bit more work,
thought and effort into it,
or enlisting the skills of a very creative and genius marketing strategy person. Hashtag
but I think,
just saying.
But I think now is the time to provide that personalised service and go think outside the box, because people are stepping back and maybe thinking twice before they make any consumer-related decisions. So why not take that time to just step back and be like, okay, how can I get... Who is my client? Is my client still my client? And then how do I attract that client if 50 other people are trying to get that business? How do I stand out from the crowd?
That's definitely how we're trying to do it, Funky.
What are you guys doing?
Well, I'm not going to tell you because it's a secret, and if I told you, it wouldn't be creative, would it? Because everyone else would go and do it. But we've got some stuff going on that is a lot more creative and will hopefully attract those targeted customers. We've definitely been more specific about the ideal customers that we're after. So we're going after more specific industries, and the way we're going to hopefully get to those is by being more creative in our approach, because there's millions of marketing agencies. They all want work, so we won't be the only people knocking on the door. The key is, can we knock on the door with a different tune?
Love it.
Well,
So they go away humming it.
Yeah.
Similar to you, I've changed my lead generation approach massively over the last fortnight, 3 weeks, and the results of that are just beginning to come in, and I'm quite optimistic about it. Likewise, if anyone listening wants to know what I'm doing, happy to have a chat.
Love it.
Just not over the airwaves.
Yeah.
For a small fee as well.
But that's good, because that shows that in such difficult times at the minute, there are opportunities out there if you just exactly
maybe
what
it stops us from being lazy as business owners, because you can tend to fall into the more comfortable slippers.
Lazy, and some people, myself probably being one of them, have just become a little bit dispirited about the whole pandemic, post-pandemic, COVID. Yeah, because we all managed to get COVID when we thought it was all over, didn't we?
I lost my sense of taste and smell for a week, which is the weirdest thing in the world.
I lost my sense of humour.
Oh, I never had one. Did you like that one?
I did, yeah.
Okay, well, our half an hour is nearly up. Do we have any tips or tools that we can recommend? We have given some pretty useful tips, I feel.
I think in summary, we're just saying take time out to review your accounts, perhaps with your accountant or your financial person. Perhaps go away and think about how you might be able to attract, triple checking if your customer is still your customer based on the current situation, and different ways that you might be able to attract your customer or your new customer. Think creatively, and just don't knee-jerk reaction and have a short-term view that you need to just cut costs everywhere. Think differently, think proactively, and think, how can I use my funds in a smarter way than maybe I'm using today?
Have a look at your outgoings and reduce them as appropriate, rather than just ad hoc.
There are apps out there that allow you to do budgeting quite easily, which is quite a handy tool. There's loads of them on the app stores, so just go on there and see whether there's any useful. But for me, the recommendation would be use and utilise the expertise you have available. So speak to your accountants, speak to your marketing teams, speak to your financial advisors, tap into them, see what they can do to help guide you through or make you that shark in the chummy waters.
Yeah, and contact us obviously, and maybe we can give you some free promo, because that's what we're here to do too.
The Business Spotlight, nice link there.
Very clever.
Yeah, go fish at thepodstation.co.uk if you want to do that, or give us a follow on social media. We're going to start running competitions as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you'll only find out what they are
if you carry on listening.
And if you follow us on the socials. Subscribe. Tell your friends, give us a review.
Yeah, and if there is a topic that you want us to cover, send us a message and we'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very exciting.
Guys, it's been wonderful to be back and bringing it in at, as I'm looking at it, under half an hour. I'm feeling rather pleased with myself.
Yeah, good going.
Well done, guys. So what's the next topic we're going to be doing?
We're going to be talking, which I think leads really nicely on from this one, business plans.
Yes.
Woo.
The queen of business plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this show and you found it useful. Let us know. We'll check you out in just 2 weeks' time, which is very exciting. Guys, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we will catch you next time. Bye now.
Get social at Go Fish Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.